obviously we know that Gabriel Jesus has been fantastic so far for Arsenal this season. He's been the talisman, but he's out for a short period of time. So therefore, we are entering the January transfer window. There'll be questions as to whether you go into the market, Ray, to replace that gap up front. But given the other night, young lad, Eddie Nketiah, scores a wonderful goal. That'll give him a boatload of confidence. Is he the answer for you?
Well, certainly they will look at the market to see who's available in striker position. They have to, really, because they want to bowl. That's the area they need to bowl. So maybe a midfielder as well, if someone's available who they think that would improve that midfield. But Eddie, I was so pleased for him because he needed that goal. He definitely, and his movement's excellent. His work rate's fantastic.
Yeah.
But just that finishing in front of goal, which hasn't been... Well, over the years, has had a lot of chances, but the way he took his goal the other night was absolutely brilliant. You know, the turn, the finish, far corner, keeper no chance. So I'm hoping he can continue this now. Now, it's a big game at Brighton away. That's not an easy game. They went to Southampton, got a really good result. Never easy going down to Brighton. Good side, good competitive side as well. Then they got a massive test against Newcastle at the Emirates. So I'm not going to get carried away. They're doing really well at the moment. And people say, of course they've got a chance of winning the title or the position they're in. Of course they have. But it's still got some really tricky games. A long way to go as well in the season. But all I can say is the way they're playing at the moment, they didn't panic too much. And what I like about this Arsenal side is the way they start both halves. First half, on the front foot.
Yeah.
First 15 minutes, really... I know they went 1-0 down to West Ham, but even the second half, they started on the front foot and really come out the traps quickly. They got the goal after about 52 minutes or something like that. And then they got that platform to build on and they went on to win a game very comfortably. But obviously, Man City, everybody's watching Man City and what a team they are. They're the ones to beat still.
How impressed are you with the manager and the club in general? Because there was a period of time where he was under a lot of pressure.
Absolutely.
It wasn't going as well as it should have been going, but they stuck with the process.
He had a massive job, Adam. I mean, he had a lot of deadwood in the side. He had a lot of older pros who needed to get out of the club. He weren't doing what he told them to do.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to go back to Aubameyang when he's turning up and he's not setting an example for the young players. And let's not forget, this is the youngest team in the Premier League.
Yeah.
At the moment. So they're developing. If they can keep them all together, the most important thing for Mikel Arteta now is to sign all the guys on long deals. I mean, Saka's contract, he's going to be getting paid more and more every week the way he's playing. You've got Martinelli, Saliba. You've got a lot of guys on their last year, their contracts, or 2 years, and you need to really tie those guys down because they're the future for the club. But if they can see a process as a player, Saka will have plenty of time to move on if he wants to move on.
Yeah.
But at this moment in time, he might think, I've come through the ranks. There's a real togetherness here for the next couple of years. I want to be part of that, and hopefully that will be the case with all the youngsters. But I'm really surprised. I know where Mikel Arteta was trying to take the club, but I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done this season. The top four was a vital. For Arsenal, not being in the Champions League for the last 5-6 seasons is not great for the club. So that was the main aim. But now, I know there's a long way to go, but if you can get to 7-8 games to go to the end of the season, you still got a chance of winning that title. That's when it really kicks in, the pressure. And whether they can handle the pressure is another matter. How
pivotal for you in his tenure do you think was that Aubameyang situation? The way that he dealt with it mainly to set an example to the rest of the players that nobody is above this club, nobody's above this dressing room. He's a senior player,
He's totally right.
Top player. He dealt with it.
I didn't question it when it happened because we don't see day to day.
Yeah.
When you're an outsider, when you're a supporter, you see what happens on the pitch on a Saturday. His probably work rate wasn't enough. If I'm being off the ball, I know he can score a goal, and I got on really well with him. So I'm sorry to see him go, but I don't see it day to day. So if someone's not turning up for training on time, and you've got a lot of young players there, and he's the skipper, well, if he can do it, why can't we?
Yeah,
and it's not the right example to set. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta's been in dressing rooms himself. He knows exactly what sort of players who he looked up to, I should imagine. And he's worked with Pep Guardiola, he's worked with Wenger. He knows exactly how you got to be it as a player as well. And he wasn't probably, tying the line, and that's why he had to make a big decision. And it was a big decision because you're losing your goal scorer. But now, who talks about Aubameyang now?
Yeah,
it's all about Jesus, and you've got to replace him. Don't get me wrong. And Jesus has been brilliant since he's got it. Well, it was an absolute nightmare news when he got injured for Brazil, because I know he's not been prolific in front of goal for the last 8 or 9 games for Arsenal, but he brings so much more to the team. With his work rate, what he does, his way he runs at players and creates chances for other people. He's been a brilliant player. But I could go right through the team and say Odegaard's been excellent. Yeah. Partey's been superb. Just on him. Xhaka's been unbelievable.
Because that's a key thing, isn't it? I think over the years, Arsenal have been soft in the midfield for a long period of time. Partey in particular, I know Xhaka's part of this as well, but Partey in particular seems to have... There's a general now in the middle of the field that dictates football matches, and that's key.
Well, it was always Xhaka as a holding midfielder, but I don't think he's mobile enough. Yeah. You know, and now he's very good on the ball. You can see he's technically very, very good. Pushed him forward a little bit more, and Partey he's mobile. He can get around the pitch. He can win the ball back, and then give it to Xhaka, who's a little bit more advanced to him. So the system has worked out so well. But the most important thing is keeping him fit now, Partey. Yeah, over the last couple of seasons, he's had his injury problems. If you lose someone like Partey in midfield, they've got a big problem for me. And that could be where, the cars come crashing down, because I'm sure Mikel Arteta knows that as well. And he'll be looking at the transfer window. I know Tielemans was mentioned and people of that calibre. If they can get someone like him in, that's perfect. But whether you can get him in is another matter.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.